Now, if you're looking for recommendations for 5-player board games, I've got some for you right now. Starting off, we have the card game High Society. This is a sort of a bidding auction game where you're playing a bunch of rich people who want to buy status symbols. And there's sort of two things that make it interesting for me is, first of all, at the end of the game, once the end game triggers, whoever has the least amount of money, regardless of how many status symbols they bought, is immediately disqualified, because you need to have lots of cash to be rich. The other thing is the bidding system. You get a whole bunch of currency at the start, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, whatever. And if you make a bid of say like 7 and then the bid gets up to 10, you can't like put down a 12 and then take the 7 back. You have to build off your existing currency, which sort of makes it really interesting of, oh, how am I going to do this bid, especially later turns. Chinatown is sort of like a chaotic bidding game as you're all trying to build businesses and own land in this section of Chinatown. It's sort of as chaotic as your group makes it out to be. I really enjoyed this experience. It sort of felt like how people described Cosmic Encounter to me, but I enjoyed this a lot more. Battlestar Galactica is a fantastic game. It's based on the television show of the same name, as you're sort of desperately trying to survive on this ship. And unfortunately, some of you might be Cylons. The way it's been described to me is it's a game of bad choices and worse choices, which I guess makes it easier for the trader to say it's in. It is a phenomenal game. Unfortunately, it's out of print, but they did do a sort of re-theme called Unfathomable. Metro X is a fun roll and write game. While it doesn't have too much player interaction, because you're all taking turns at once, it is a game that's enjoyable at higher player counts, as you try to fill in as much of your subway as you can through intersecting lines to get as many points as possible. I really enjoy playing Magic the Gathering EDH, or Commander, and at 5 players, I really recommend playing Star, and that's where, in order to win, it's not necessarily knocking out everyone at the table, it's the 2 people opposite you, which means the 2 people on either side of you are kind of allies, but not really, which sort of brings out the sort of best or worst of EDH, depending how you look at it. Those are my recommendations for 5 players.